Welcome back. We are here at the SSL. We just finished a fantastic ZVP. Dark crushing it, man.
Yeah, he's looking insanely powerful. Now we're going into our other Protoss matchups. We're going to have a PvT with Classic versus aLive, so that should be a really good one. And then we're going into 2 straight PvPs after that, back-to-back. So a lot of Protoss matches tonight.
We've already seen TY do a fantastic job yesterday at the GSL, holding off the Adepts, really teaching everybody who follows Starcraft what you got to do. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we're going to have the same quality here. I mean, Classic's a very strong player. He's really quite brilliant. At times, he was the best Protoss in the world. I'm not sure. I'm leaning towards Classic here. What about you?
I really have to, right? Let's look at this guy's results, okay? How many championships in this? He won Codes Season 2. He made it to the round of 4 of the Kespa Cup. He won Star League Season 2. So he won 2 tournaments back-to-back at the same time last year in the middle of the year. He won IEM Shenzhen. I think he beat Parting in that grand finals, if I'm not mistaken. He's made it to so many top rounds. He made it to the round of 4 of the WCS finals. aLive, on the other hand, he was a player who was super strong back in the old days, like at the beginning of Wings of Liberty. He had a rough Heart of the Swarm. And if you look at his wins here, actually in his qualifiers, like most of those people, like he beat Zest, that's really impressive, but beating Stork, he ended up dropping game to Stork. Stork's more of a coach than a pro gamer right now, and he beat Byung, who has
he is a coach, yeah.
Yeah. So you look at this matchup, I would say Classic definitely is the player who should win it when it comes to results. Plus, he's playing the matchup right now that Koreans are saying is very Protoss favored more than any other matchup. It's like a bit, balance seems to be off from what the Korean players are thinking. So I think aLive would have to pull off a miracle here to win this one. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. I think this is going to be a very tough matchup for him. We haven't really seen Classic actually play in Legacy of the Void all that much. I think he's played maybe 1 series.
We're going to go to a quick interview with our 2 players.
김도희입니다. 제가 듣기로는 동준이가 아마 한 800게임 했다고 들었는데 떨어졌더라고요. 클래스는 영원하다라는 말이 있잖아요. 그래서 저는 우승자이기도 하고 클래스가 있기 때문에 연습 안 해도 이렇게 16강에 올라온 것 같아요.
안녕하세요, 한이섭입니다. 테란 지금 올라간 선수 중에 제가 제일 못해가지고 사실 희망이 될 것 같지는 않고요. 뭔가 이변의 아이콘이 되고 싶어요.
동호회사에서 좀 잘하시더라고요. 자신이 있지만 이렇게 방심하면 안 될 것 같아요.
그냥 우승자 출신이죠.
제가 좋아하는 테란전이기도 하고 상대도 괜찮은 것 같고 16강은 무난하게 뚫을 것 같아요.
토스가 지금 나쁘지 않아가지고 그래서 테란 만나고 싶었다고 하신 것 같은데 저도 사실 토스 중에는 김도우 선수가 제일 편해가지고
뭐 많이 연습하면 잘할 수 있을 것 같긴 하지만 아직까지는 큰 확신이 없어서 한 4강 정도 바라보고 있어요.
한 명 한 명 이겼으면 좋겠고 사실 제가 바라는 거는 상대 쪽 라인에 지원이가 있는데 제가 지원이랑 평소에 친분이 좀 있어가지고 같이 결승해서 만났으면 좋겠어요.
작년에 좋은 모습을 많이 보여드려서 기대도 많이 하실 텐데 열심히 하면 좋은 모습을 보여줄 수 있을 것 같아요. 그래서 열심히 할 테니까 동호회선 또 기대해 주시고 좋게 봐주세요.
적은 테란 중에 제가 한 명이어가지고 좀 많이 의아해 하실 것 같은데 의아한 부분에서 제가 오해를 풀어드릴 자신 있고 항상 응원해 주시면 좋겠습니다.
Wolf, tell us about that interview.
I'll tell you guys pretty quickly, like my personal take on it, just to say it really quick before we get into this first game, is I feel like Classic has talked a lot about his history. He says he's got class, and that's what's why he's a good player. He's like, I didn't even have to practice that much. I'm just better than most players.
What, you said he had class?
Yes, he said that. He said he has
in
class.
School.
No, I mean like classes and like
okay.
Like as in like he's got like he's high class. He's a high class player.
I was like, what? I was like, he's in school right now? I'm like, I didn't know that. That's crazy. What is this guy, Pulp, man? That's wild. Okay.
Whereas aLive...
I thought we were going to, like, have some twist in here. It's like we also discovered that aLive drives a garbage truck when he's not in pro gaming tournaments, and I'd be like, well, I didn't know that either. I thought these guys are just full-time pros, but I guess not. All right, sorry. Anyways.
So just to sum up aLive's side of things, basically, he said he literally said the words, I think Paras is not really bad right now, so he probably is glad to meet a Terran. There's not very many Terrans in this tournament, so he wants to kind of do a good performance for the fans as one of the last remaining Terrans. And that's about it.
All right, well, our map has loaded up. This is game number 1, Classic versus aLive here at the SSL. All right, it's on. This is best of 3, number 2. In the upper left starting location in the red, he is Classic. Class.
But, like, not high school.
Not in school right now.
No.
We apologize for the confusion. In the bottom left, in the blue, our Terran player, aLive.
Talking about these two pros, like Classic is a 2-time Korea winner. One of the only players in Korea who have actually won both Star League and a GSL. And that's pretty impressive. He won the back-to-back as well, which is really, really impressive. Now, one thing I want to note is if you look at the other SKT players, besides the mirror SKT match we just watched, where Dark won. Dark was the first successful SKT player. On day 1, we had both Innovation and Sue, 2 SK players, get knocked out to the losers bracket. At the time, the tournament format at the time, they were actually out of the tournament, but that's been changed. But yeah, like, what I'm trying to say is I feel like the SK players seem to be, especially in their interviews, kind of resting a little bit on like, oh, I'm a great player, I've been very successful, look at what I did last year. And they've been upset by these players who are training, it seems to be way harder. And Classic even says in the interview, like, I'm just better, I don't have to practice that much. We'll see if that ends up working out for him.
We did see TY do some pretty cool pushes on this map, but that was one base, so we're not going to have it this time around. Terran going for a quick expand here, as is Protoss. And we'll see. We have seen Adept drops be quite strong. Not sure if that's going to be the case here. Looks like could be going in that direction. We already have Adepts being made now. We'll have to see how exactly aLive copes with that unit.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be the initial pressure he has to deal with here. A bunker is going to be quite critical. In fact, as I say that, he's making one now. If you don't have a bunker up, the pros could just put a pylon at your base and overcharge it and kill you with Adepts. Make that CC die, make it float. So he's going to need that. And, he's only got 1 Adept right now. Another one's coming out, actually, so he's going to have 2. And the Mothership Core is going to scout this base right away. And making this reactor was kind of greedy, obviously, if he was up against a faster pressure. But he's going to have triple Marine production now as this Mothership Core comes to poke in. See if he loses any SCVs. Like he's already lost 1. He'll lose 2.
Yeah, it looks like he might even end up getting 3 here. The Marines are coming up now. And this is a great poke to do as Protoss, especially in these spawns. You're so close by air.
And he is going to just pile on this natural anyways. There goes the pylon. He's going to get a second SCV kill at the natural. Oh, he misses it. Well, this is actually really tough. Oh, he could have gotten in there. He probably doesn't want to, though.
Yeah, I would actually just stay on the low ground here. I think this is really smart. And getting the pylon up here, this is really difficult. Already aLive off to a pretty bad start.
But you know what? The Mothership Core isn't anywhere nearby, so he actually just has to cancel that. But he's done enough pressure, enough damage anyways. Now he's going to force the Marines onto the low ground while he makes an Oracle out of his Stargate back home. aLive having a difficult time deciding where he wants those Marines to be defending. For good reason, because he knows the Oracle follow-up is a quite popular follow-up to this kind of pressure.
I think it pairs really well with the Adepts. I think you end up with this unit on the ground that can basically be everywhere. It's beefy, it's got a lot of HP, and then you could send the Oracle into the main. Now, he did hide a Widow Mine. I believe it was next to the refinery. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. He did hide a Widow Mine next to that refinery. We'll see if the Adept actually ends up contacting with that mine. But that could be one way aLive could start to, get some footing back in this game.
Well, let's see if these Oracles can find some damage. There's a lot of Marines here, but the Oracle's here at the same time. Looks like he did notice the Widow Mine. Must have pressed his like delete key here. He's going to find some Marines. Just going to kill some spawning Marines instead of going for the SCVs. Playing very safe with this Oracle.
He's moving right around those that Widow Mine. And then it seems the Marines are going to have to come up. Once the Marines come up, oh my god, he's so close to that Widow Mine.
Yeah, he could have actually tried to sacrifice himself to blow up some SCVs and Marines there, but decided not to.
The Adepts right over here. I see what he was trying to do. He wants those Marines to go back, and then the Adepts can poke in. But so far, aLive's doing a good job. Stim has started now. And it's not going to be until Stim's done that aLive can actually push out. There is a Widow Mine drop, however, headed up here towards the main. We'll see if Classic responds in time.
He needs to move his probes because that Phoenix is not enough for 2 Widow Mines. Good probe pull here. He's going to lose just 2 probes, it looks like, initially. Oh, I take it back! I take it back, Tasteless!
Man. Nice pickup. That was very, very close.
It's out of range of the overcharge, though. It's out of range.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And he goes and picks that up into the medevac. The medevac making a beeline to the expansion, and he drops.
Oh my god, those probes need to move! Tasteless! Oh, he moves it! Oh, what in the world?
Yeah, it wasn't clear where it was going to connect at first, but that was really nicely done.
Yeah, that was intense there. That was a very, very crazy set of series of events.
I wasn't sure the medevac was going to get over there in time, but he did manage to pull it off. We now have the attack speed here for the Adepts being upgraded, so there's a high chance that we could have a pretty strong push followed up here by Classic.
Now, I just want to point out that in Workers killed aLive, killed 6 probes with that attack, and he lost 4 SCVs to Classic's harass. Only 4 SCVs actually went down to all that Adept pressure and the, Oracle coming in as well. But the worker count is 54 to 35 because Classic has been non-stop chrono on all of his next site, and he has a 3rd base up now, so his economy is getting out of control at this point in time. And I really worry for aLive if he doesn't actually find some way to do damage in the next few moments, because when it comes to economy, he's being clearly outclassed here. And now the Resonating Glaives are done, so the Adepts can fire out so much faster, and he might even just power up a bunch of gateways and attack because he has 3 base economy now.
Yeah, he can totally do that, and we've seen a lot of Terrans have a pretty difficult time when it does come to that. Stim is done, so he's getting to the point where he actually can start to try to do some damage. He's got to be careful, though. The unit composition that Protosses are able to do due to the Adept pressure is pretty scary. With Phoenixes and the rest of the Protoss army being there, you can lose your entire, not just the ground, but the air as well, losing the medevacs here. He's going to have to be very careful. We also see a Warp Prism coming up here.
Yeah.
He may be using this to try to keep Terran pinned inside of his base and also prevent him from taking a 3rd base.
Let's see if he even adds, the Warp Prism could be for reinforcing his attack and warping in, then harassing with it like you're saying and splitting the Terran apart. But Classic is definitely just going to do an Adept attack here. He's adding 4 more gateways. 1 Adept in this Prism right now. He's going to try to use these Phoenixes to clear up the drop pathway. And oh man, this is going to be like when you and I cast Code last week. It's just when it was Bomber was the victim.
It might be. We'll see. The medevac's coming up now. It is going to be spotted by the Observer. Well-placed Observer just there. One problem that Protoss have is they don't get a ton of detection when they're going for this kind of tech here. And the Phoenixes are going to make quick work of this medevac. It is out of the game. Oh, excuse me. Actually, the Widow Mine does drop. Nicely taken care of there.
Ooh, aLive wants to elevator these units up. He wants to elevator the 2nd group up too. Meanwhile, this drop is shut down. Let's see if aLive can actually find some damage here. No, doesn't look like it. Overcharge is ready. There's a lot of Protoss units here. And he's got a good position here on the low ground. He's trying to abuse that, the fact that a lot of the Protoss army, well, not in this case, but a lot of the time it's a Zealot heavy army, so you can't actually fight there. But Adepts can shoot ranged, and it's not going to work out. Ooh, Stasis Ward over here. Could actually catch half that army and get surrounded and kill it.
Looks like that Observer's going to just catch that command center being constructed over here.
This is
at
so
that 3rd
late.
base.
Look at how long Classics has 3rd base up for years.
Yeah,
basically.
but I mean, what are you going to do as Terran? I mean, I can't really be too hard on aLive here because honestly, I mean, the Protoss can throw so much at the Terran early on. It seems like a later expand here is aLive's only option. He's also going to poke in here. I think he might even try to go for the Nexus. He's going for the Nexus now. Hiding away. Yeah, not going to work.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
He tries. He attempts to find any crack in Classic's armor here, any weakness that he could actually try to exploit, but Classic has solid defense. These Phoenixes make his life so much easier. He keeps finding and punishing medevacs. Now this time I think he will get the Nexus Tasteless. He's going to get that and just stim away.
Nicely done. Okay, so that was the play he needed to have. to get that snipe off. He's dropping now over here into the main. The Phoenixes are coming up. The Phoenixes will make quick work of the medevacs, but he needs to get the rest of his army over here to take care of the ground.
Yeah, the pylon's actually not going to be enough, it looks like, to defend that. Now, it's important to note that not only did he kill that third Nexus with his drop, but all the units survived, and so you can actually use them for some more harass. Uh-oh, it's time for the Adept push.
The Adepts are coming out. Let's see if aLive can hold off the third base. If he does hold this off, that would be huge. But when I look at these supplies, I have to ask myself, how on earth could any Terran take on 171 supply when Terran's only at 108? Oh my God, and the command center doesn't even finish, so the command center will be forced to be canceled. Bunkers being made here on the high ground. Will aLive be able to hold on?
I don't think so, Tasus. That's way too many Adepts. They're going to land on top of these Widow Mines, though. Oh, look at that. Phoenix is picking them up just in time, and we know how this story ends.
This is brutal. Amazing arc around these bunkers. Phoenix is picking up everything in sight. For some reason, we're at the bottom. Oh, excuse me. We're now moving in over here. And that is going to basically be game. I mean, there's just nothing that aLive could do against those Adepts that are just such strong units.
You could say Classic is quite adept at Protoss, Tasus.
Oh, look at you, Wolf. You making the funnies and everything.
Well,
I mean, there's just nothing that he's going to be able to do. The Adepts are stutter step microing into the main.
It's game over.
That's going to be game over. This will be the end here.
He's dropping mules in his mineral line, but it's not going to help.
It's not going to help. I don't think so.
Oh, he's lifting his CC. Uh-oh, he's mad, Tasteless. He's actually dropping a little bit, but it's not going to matter. GG.
GG.
I think he's pretty frustrated.
Well, I would be too if I was aLive. I think that he's going to have to take a page from TY's playbook. I think he's playing a little bit too much of a generic style.
Well, he just plays too safe.
Just because you survive Adepts and Oracles early on doesn't mean you're in any shape at all to move on into mid-game, late game here.
He also
in Legacy of the Void.
Yeah, he also didn't he didn't scout to see if Classic had a third base until very late. And by the time that he killed it, it had already paid for itself like by triple. I mean, we saw with I looked at the tab because I was curious. We saw literally no more than 10 units die like in that game. And at one point in time, Classic had 70 more supply than aLive. That's how his economy kicked in. Like, it's not like, oh, the Adepts tore him apart, he's got no hope. I mean, he just had 3 bases for way longer than aLive had.
It wouldn't matter if it was Adepts or not. I mean, when you're on 3 bases for that long, that's tough, man. Yeah. Also, with the fact that the Adept can shade in, means you're always going to get premium position. Where you can engage on top of the army in the most comfortable fashion imaginable.
It makes it tough to take a third base, and I think aLive was concerned about a timing attack happening off 2 base, but he never got a scout off on that third. And look at his face, he looks so frustrated.